And we're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Beer Time with Big Bird. Today is Saturday instead of Friday because I had some personal schedule conflicts going on yesterday. We had to delay the show until today. So instead of kicking off the weekend, we're going to be jumping in 50% of the way through it. So I hope everybody is already in the midst of an awesome weekend. I know I am. I had a fantastic evening last night, spending a little bit of extra quality time with my flight attendant wife before she had to kick out of town, there's my schedule conflict right there. You know where you stand out, internet, compared to me and my old lady. But yeah, today was good. Went out, did a little Christmas shopping, did a little, holidays right around the corner. Took care of a few things, and then started coming back here, getting ready for the show, which I just think that's right there, making for a good weekend. So I hope everybody's doing good. We're going to go ahead and pour ourselves our standard beer. This time, it comes courtesy from this bad boy, my Echoes Brewing Specialty Growler, which is how I know I'm not going to make an ass out of myself on TV, on the internets, and screw up my pour. It's nice. It's so easy to do it on a growler. What are we drinking today? That's a good question. What are we drinking today? I think this is their pale ale. I honestly forgot what I got last time I went there, so this will be a surprise. So cheers, everybody. I hope everybody's having a fantastic weekend. I think it's the pale ale. It might not be. I think that's the pale ale. We're going to go with that. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go. We got a big show today. Lots and lots of things to cover that I wanted to do. So we're going to go ahead and preview a little bit of that. I got the major announcement, obviously comes from, if you saw the thumbnail, you might know where this leads. But this was President Donald Trump made a announcement earlier this week that he had a major announcement coming, and then we got the major announcement on Thursday, which turned out to be not so major. But we're going to be talking about that and how it turned out, and then we've got our new reoccurring segment, Bad Tweets, it's kind of funny because, I won't give the whole game away right now, but yeah, Bad Tweets were... It's going to be a special edition of Bad Tweets already. It's only the second time we've done this, but we'll get into that. And then to top it all off, we're going to talk a little bit. I want to squeeze this in about Louder with Crowder. Steven Crowder is leaving the Blaze, the show that was Louder with Crowder. We don't know what's going to happen to it, but either way, he's walking away from that whole situation at the end of the year. So we're going to get into that to finish out the show. So to start with, let's take a journey over to see the major announcement that was put out on, I guess Donald Trump truthed it from his social media website, Truth. It says, major announcement, my official Donald Trump digital trading card collection is here. These limited edition cards feature amazing art of my life and career. Collect all of your favorite Donald Trump digital trading cards, very much like a baseball card, but hopefully much more exciting. Go to collecttrumpscards.com and get your cards now. Only $99 each. Would make a great Christmas gift. Don't wait. They will be gone, I believe, very quickly. So that was the major announcement. And of course, as soon as I saw this, I saw it via Melanie Mack over here. Shout out to Miss Melanie Mack. She's actually a fantastic Twitter follow. She kind of dabbles a little bit in both politics and culture, so that's a huge plus. But it brought me right over to the actual website, collecttrumpcards.com. And you might see at this point now, we're sold out. So this came out, on Thursday? And we are on Saturday, so it's a couple days later. And they've been sold out for a lot longer than just 24 hours. I think they were gone within 2 or 3 hours, if I recall correctly. But yeah, this was it. And it was accompanied by a classic I've heard it equated to like a Fox News late night TV infomercial. And so we're going to head and we'll watch a little bit of that because it's really fun to watch. The imagery alone, if you guys, if you ever seen the show The Boys on Amazon, it's a great show. It's kind of like an anti-hero. It's like if Marvel movie meets corporate America, but they're all anti-heroes and most of them are terrible people. But he's like a dead ringer for one of the worst characters in the show, which is probably not a good optic, including the laser eyes, I might add.
Hello, everyone. This is Donald Trump. Hopefully your favorite president of all time, better than Lincoln, better than Washington.
Better than Lincoln, better than Washington. Classic Trump ego at work.
With an important announcement to make. I'm doing my first official Donald J. Trump NFT collection right here and right now. They're called Trump Digital Trading Cards. These...
Well, what happened? We lost it. We lost it. The Trump Digital Trading Cards.
Card or other collectible. Collect your Trump digital cards, just like a baseball card or other collectibles. Here's one of the best parts. Each card comes with an automatic chance to win amazing prizes like dinner with me. I don't know if that's an amazing prize, but it's what we have.
Or golf. But Garrett, what have you missed? Right now we're just debuting the major announcement. Trump's major announcement. I hope you saw it.
With you and a group of your friends at one of my beautiful golf courses, and they are beautiful. I'm also doing Zoom calls, a one-on-one meeting, autographing memorabilia, and so much more. We're doing a lot. My official Trump digital trading cards are $99, which doesn't sound like very much for what you're getting. Buy one and you will join a very exclusive community. It's my community, and I think it's something you're going to like, and you're going to like it a lot. They also make perfect gifts. So you can buy them with your credit card or crypto. All you need is an email address.
All right, that's enough of you there, big guy. So, yeah, it feels like a troll, doesn't it? And the sad thing is it's not. It's mostly just a cash grab. So for $99, you can get you start collecting 1, 10, 20, or 100, and then be instantly enrolled in the sweepstakes to win grand prizes. Some of the prizes you can get, you could get a Miami dinner with Donald Trump, Mar-a-Lago group cocktail hour, one-on-one meeting with 45 himself, play golf with Trump and your friends, individual Zoom call, group Zoom session, hand-signed memorabilia, golden edition signed e-trading cards. So we got NFTs. Trump is officially in the NFT game, which, you know, I don't know why we're doing this. Like, is nobody really... I feel like this whole NFT crypto thing right now is probably like, gotta be real careful with that, especially if you are the only announced candidate for the next presidency. I don't know. It seems like a really weird move. So went ahead and started doing some looking here. This is a story from The Hill. Trump's digital cards sell out within a day. Former President Trump's digital trading cards were sold out within less than 24 hours after his first announcements were available. As of Friday morning, the site selling the non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, says they are sold out, and links to purchase digital cards are no longer available. OpenSea data, which tracks the sales in markets of NFTs, indicated there were 45,000. Of course, that's 45,000 of the Trump cards initially made available for purchase for $99 each. The Trump digital cards were the top trending item on the site as of Friday morning. Trump posted to Truth Social on Wednesday that he would be making a major announcement without providing any details. Some had speculated the announcement would relate to the speaker race playing out among House Republicans or Trump's largely inactive 2024 campaign. Yes, you would be right. He is indeed a businessman, and I just don't know if I like this kind of business. But this was the couple key things here. So we'll get to the concept of the major announcement. And then, but instead, Trump revealed a line of digital trading cards that could be purchased with cryptocurrency or credit card. Proceeds of the cards, which among other things depict the former President Trump as an astronaut and a cowboy, will not go to Trump's campaign, but to Trump himself through a licensing deal. So this is not a campaign funding mechanism. This is a personal way to make $4.5 million overnight, which, you know, clap, clap, clap. That's a pretty good get, man. If that's what you know, if you got the popularity, you don't really have to make anything. I don't know how one exactly creates an NFT, but I would imagine it's a pretty low investment from the jump, and then you just sell these things and make a shit ton of money off of it, which things that are essentially worthless. But this coming from the only right now official candidate for president in 2024, I think led a lot of people to really speculate about what this major announcement was going to be, including myself and Donovan. We speculated about it slightly, not kind of really caring, to be perfectly honest, because we're not really Trump sycophants. We're kind of anti-Trump folks, more or less. But I don't want to speak for Donovan, I should say. I do not like this man very much at all. But yeah, the speculation I had personally was like, well, maybe he's going to announce somebody as like a possible running mate. Maybe he's going to make some endorsements in the speakership race that's currently going on right now. That's kind of tearing apart the GOP. Who knows? I mean, the possibilities are endless, and from a future candidate for president, it'd be quite impactful. But as it turns out, it was just a way to make some money and sell some NFTs, I guess. You know, it's a little bit interesting how it's not going to the campaign funds. And as of right now, I mean, we saw this during the midterms. He's got the most money out of any other, you know, Republican group right now. So that's an interesting concept, that he's got all this money, spent very, very little of it during the midterm campaign on other candidates running. And so he's just sitting on this giant war chest of money, which, you know, might be neither here nor there. He might have some things up in his sleeve, but it kind of, this doesn't speak very well, I think, to me at least, to his seriousness when it comes to 2024. This seems like a very unserious move to just make some money for yourself. I mean, considering all the things that are going on, we got the Sam Bankman-Fried thing going on, which, if you guys don't know, I don't know if we haven't really talked about it that much, but it was a massive crypto. I'm just going to brush on it because it's way too in-depth to try to get into, but it was a massive crypto exchange market similar to that of like a Coinbase or Robinhood or something like that. But yeah, that whole thing went down. So there are a lot of eyes right now on the crypto e-currency world, and NFTs are something that's just, they're real, like they're like crypto adjacent, I guess he said. So he has been the best option I've personally been offered in my lifetime. Joseph, not going to disagree with that. Trump 2024, baby, get it on. You know, I mean, we'll see how the landscape turns out, but there's a higher than likely possibility that's going to be the situation. Oh, God help us if that's what we're doing. But hey, man, no shade. I get it. I definitely get it. It's just not my ball game, but that's fine. I would love DeSantis after that. Yeah, let's do the old Trump DeSantis VP, and then he'll hand the reins over in 28, and that'll just be the way things go, and then DeSantis will have his 8 years. I bet that works for you, don't it? But yeah, anyways, very, very interesting. It was a major announcement and also a major letdown for somebody like me. I thought we were going to have some very interesting things going on here, but kind of came and went real fast, real hard. So with that, let's move on to our next topic, which I have to hit the button for.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
Bad takes from the Twitterverse. That's still my favorite cut screen ever. So this is a very special bad takes because I had a bad take all ready to go. I had it all lined up. It was going to be amazing. And then the execrable Taylor Lorenz decided to completely wash out her entire Twitter and then protect all of her tweets. So she's getting out the game. It's over. My bad tweet, my bad response, my bad everything that happened on Twitter is gone now, thanks to Taylor Lorenz just screwing it up like she does most everything else she touches. But that's okay, because we have the fallout, and we even have it's a Twitter adjacent bad take, because the original bad take was from Taylor Lorenz, but one of the other bad takes came from an article regarding regarding to her response. So this was from the Washington Free Beacon. Taylor Lorenz lashes out at younger, more successful journalist Barry Weiss in cruel anti-Semitic tirade. I saw the original tweet. They talk about it in here. I'm very, very interested to hear the arguments about how it's anti-Semitic. I think it's mostly just petty and standard Taylor Lorenz kind of egotistical pettiness. Yeah, we'll go with that. So let's pull up this bad take here. So Taylor Lorenz, the Free Beacon, man. You guys are doing great work out there. Taylor Lorenz lashes out at younger, more successful journalists in cruel anti-Semitic tirade. Washington Post reporter has history of targeted harassment against the Jews. Taylor Lorenz, start that one over again. Taylor Lorenz, a semi-prominent China apologist and internet reporter at the failing New Washington Post. I feel like that kind of explains exactly where the Washington Free Beacon's at. That line could be in a Trump tweet, to be honest. But on Tuesday, lashed out at fellow journalists in a Twitter tirade many people are calling anti-Semitic. The target, Barry Weiss, the successful Substack writer and friend of the Washington Free Beacon. Lorenz reacted poorly to the Axios article, which we'll go to next, about Weiss's new media company, the Free Press, and decided to vent her rage, on the immigrant-owned social network website. Okay, that's just, what a loaded couple paragraphs there, Washington Free Beacon. Notable what gets... Okay, so this is this was pieces of Lorenz's, her tweet that kind of caused all this ruckus and then led to 2 days later, her entire Twitter is just private now, which first she did the scrub. That was yesterday. And then when I went to go check it today, it was on private. So shout out Taylor Lorenz. So she said, notable what gets framed as a buzzy media startup regarding to the Axios story. If you start off rich, have a rich spouse, rich friends, don't allow any journalistic ethic rules, and focus your content solely on serving the interests of extremely powerful rich people, you can go far. Now, if you're really fishing, I guess you could say that there might be some anti-Semitic tropes in there, perhaps, just because you're talking about rich friends and extremely powerful rich people. But, But the comment that really got me about this, that really, really, really made it a bad take, don't follow any journalistic ethical rules. Coming from Taylor Lorenz, who is the one that has doxed multiple people before, including the infamous Libs of TikTok, and that was the one that really blew up. That was the most recent blow up they had of a public doxing, which I'm fairly sure still lives on Twitter today, unless Musk has changed that. Which, given all his doxing situations right now, that is a strong possibility. So this was, I think this whole article right here is a relatively bad take, to be perfectly honest, because they're just upset about Taylor Lorenz being upset about the Axios article, and they're trying to paint her as an anti-Semitic because of her statements about being really, really pissed off about Barry Weiss's new media company. Okay, but that's fine. She has definitely said some pretty nasty things about Jews in the past. So I guess I'll give them that one, because there's something about a news network scorned or something like that they're going to carry on. But let's take a look, because this got me interested. Barry Weiss has been doing a lot of powerful things lately. Exclusive, Barry Weiss reveals business plan for buzzy new media startup. There she is pictured there with her wife, I believe, and co-founder of their new media empire. Barry Weiss, the New York Times columnist, the once New York Times columnist turned independent newsletter writer, has hired 10 full-time employees and over a dozen contractors to help build her new media company, the Free Press, Weiss told Axio in an interview. Now, see, this is really interesting because what has happened here, we'll get going a little further into it in a second, but what's happened here essentially is Barry Weiss, once she got axed from the New York Times for essentially being a voice at the New York Times that went slightly against the narrative of the New York Times, don't align your personal exit with Taylor Lorenz and you may do okay. Amen. Yeah, if you have a lot of ethics in line with Taylor Lorenz, you might have a problem because that's never a good place to be at. If you're looking over your shoulder and the one backing you up is Taylor Lorenz, you know, you might be on the wrong side of that fight. We'll put it that way. But yeah, Barry Weiss is her growth on Substack has been really interesting and exponentially quick. When she first left the New York Times, she started Substack and she started writing herself. It was originally called, what was it called? It didn't used to be called Free Press. Oh, it was something else, but I can't remember it right off the top of my head. It was like, it's right on the tip of my tongue. I used to listen to the podcast all the time before they changed it. But somebody already had a title that was really, really near that, so she changed it to the Free Press. And as soon as it really started getting notoriety, she started to have a lot of other authors write under her Substack. So she, for a long time, wasn't putting out the vast majority of the content on her Substack. And it looks like that kind of built the foundation for what's going on here now. So why it matters. There's a success of Weiss's Substack newsletter and podcast, both of which she launched last year after leaving the New York Times, shows an appetite for coverage that's meant to rebuke traditional media products. She said, I'm responding to a demand and I'm expanding based on the hunger of the audience, and the hunger and appetite is just huge. We're at the very, very beginning of what this could be, Weiss said. Driving the news, Weiss launched the Free Press last Thursday, 4 days ahead of schedule, to capitalize on the media coverage around her, quote, Twitter files reporting. That's a good idea. If that's what drove her to make the announcement at that point in time, she definitely was right there focused on the public eye. It was on her. In less than a week, Free Press has accrued more than 105,000 followers on Twitter, and its flagship newsletter has added an additional 25,000 free and paid subscriptions. Weiss's Twitter following itself has exploded in that time, growing from more than 500,000, 500,000 followers, to more than 900,000 in less than a week. Almost that cool mill, Weiss. Weiss and her wife, Nellie Bowles, a co-founder of the Free Press and former New York Times correspondent, have wasted no time supercharging growth. The company has already begun its first paid marketing campaign, which includes digital advertising and posters in cities such as Los Angeles, New York City, and soon Austin and San Francisco. Up until now, we haven't spent a penny, Weiss says. Well, yeah, because it's all just been... It's been your kind of more traditional alternative media outlets. Stuff where you don't really necessarily have to pay. You just post things on the platform, and then you get natural growth and so on and so forth. People pay you. You know, Substack's killing it, man. This is going to be one of the, if not the first major, like, media organization built off the back of Substack, which would be really, really interesting to watch, because Substack itself has been it's been a massive platform for a lot of people. Matt Taibbi and a bunch of like the formerly left-wing journalists that got pushed out during like the woke wars in the media outlets. They all retreated to Substack and started their own thing and become very, very successful. A lot of times, people like Alex Berenson, who's exposed the White House collusion with social media, and a whole bunch of people. So this will be really interesting to watch as it gets closer and closer and closer. Let's see here. Quick catch up. Weiss left New York Times as an op-ed columnist in July 2020, arguing she had become a victim of new McCarthyism. Fact check true. And as the root of paper of record, Bowles left the Times shortly after in 2021. The pair created the Free Press from their kitchen table in Los Angeles. By the numbers, let's see here. Weiss said her subscriber number has more than doubled since the beginning of the year to 283,000, she said. Earlier this year, Weiss and Bowles raised a small family and friends funding round for the Free Press. Weiss declined to share how much. Yep. Prior to that, the duo relied on subscription revenue from Weiss's newsletter, which costs $5 monthly. It's now costs $8 under the Free Press umbrella. Last year, MarketWatch reported that Weiss made over $800,000 from her newsletter alone. Get paid, Barry Weiss. Get paid. Damn. Bet you the New York Times wasn't paying you that much money. Fuck. So anyways, yeah, Taylor Lorenz saw this article, got super pissed off that Barry Weiss is making a bunch of money and making waves, and Taylor Lorenz is putting herself in a position where she has to make her Twitter private. So that was this week's edition of
No! God! No! God, please, no! No!
Had to hit it twice because it's awesome. All right, so last but not least, let's talk about this little story here. If you are a regular watcher of the show, as I know Joseph Garrett, you are indeed, you may have heard Donovan and I talk about Steven Crowder to a probably nauseating amount. And there's reasons for this. He's a very, very, very popular voice, especially for younger conservatives out there. And we like to find things we disagree with him on, push back on certain things, so on and so forth. I like to make fun of Gerald because I don't like Gerald for some reason. And, but it's all in good fun. Either way, I have at one point, I'm not currently anymore, but I was at one point, I was a Mug Club subscriber, I should add. Oh, I'm in the wrong view. There we go. We're doing the Salt the Streets view there for a minute. But I do watch Crowder almost religiously. It's part of my daily rotation when it's on. I mean, it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes Thursday. And overall, I really like Crowder. Just like Joseph right there. I like Crowder. And I do too. He's a very entertaining guy. He talks about a lot of things. He gets a lot of things right when not a lot of people do, which is also a very interesting thing. But he's got some stuff going on right now, and I think it's just important to talk about. So this is an article here from the Daily Wire. YouTube star Steven Crowder, known for Change My Mind segments, announced he's leaving the Blaze. And he announced this, I believe, on Thursday morning during a show. Then after a long time, a lot of thinking, all this good stuff, he's ending the partnership with the Blaze. Not a whole lot of details going on right now, which I could certainly imagine there's probably some contractual things going on there. But let's just see what the Daily Wire has to say right here. Steven Crowder announced Thursday that he's leaving the Blaze after 4 years. Only 4 years in the Blaze, huh? Interesting. The 35-year-old Canadian-American commentator is well known in conservative media for his comic spin on politics and current events, his popular Change My Mind segments, in which he sets up a table on college campuses and other locations to challenge passersby to talk him out of a non-progressive opinion on controversial topics, have gone viral numerous times. His show has frequently been on Apple's top 100 podcast charts. So here's a quote from him, I believe on his Twitter. I, Mug Club, am leaving the Blaze. I and Mug Club are leaving the Blaze. I don't know why they missed that one. Said Crowder, who praised the Blaze and his colleagues at the company. I've lost sleep over this for months because I knew that I wouldn't be renewing, and of course the Blaze knew that I wouldn't be renewing, but I have no way to reach you. This was a very important thing that he was talking about on a show, that it really sounds to me Joe said, I didn't like the Blaze because it buffers a lot and changes the program that I was sometimes when it does. Dude, I can attest to that. Because when I was subscribing, obviously you did it through the Blaze at that point and watched it there, but it was a really, really clunky interface. I was not in love with it at all. It kind of, part of the reason I got away from it is because at the end of the day, the only show I really watched on the Blaze was Crowder, and the overall like user experience and stuff was not that great. It was just kind of clunky, and so I just decided to watch it on YouTube and on Rumble. So missed out on some of the special segments, which kind of sucked because some of those were pretty fire. But yeah, I just ultimately got away from that. I love most contributors of the Blaze. Steve Dace is awesome. Steve Dace, I don't know him. I'm gonna have to look him up. There's a lot like Jason Whitlock, I think, was over there. I do like a little bit of Glenn Beck's show every now and again, especially when he just does his kind of like, I think it's his podcast, the one-on-one interviews that he does. The one he did with Michael Malice is to date one of my all-time favorite interviews ever done on the internet. It was just so good. But who else was on there? I don't really recall anymore. But yeah, either way, that's ended up why I got out of the Mug Club business and then just started watching him on the regular. And it's kind of it's an interesting thing to think about. I mean, he made a lot of, he didn't say anything outright during his announcement on Thursday, but he seemed like he doesn't have much control over his company from the Blaze. It doesn't sound like he says he doesn't have anybody's emails. He has no way to get in contact with anybody, which sounds to me like the Blaze has all that stuff on lock. And he, as the creator of Louder with Crowder, it sounds like he's basically locked out of the system and he doesn't know how that's going to work out. And it doesn't sound like he has a good feeling that he's going to be able to take his audience with him wherever he goes. Mind you, he is Steven Crowder, and of course you will take the vast majority of your audience with you wherever you go because, you know, he's tweeting right now. Like, he's on Twitter, so he could still do that. He's got I think 1 million subscribers on Rumble. So I mean, like, people know where he's at. They can find him no matter what he does. But you know, there's a part of me I feel bad for him in a way. I also don't have that much sympathy because it kind of sounds like he just got into a bad contract deal. It's what it sounds like to me. He was very unhappy with what the Blaze has got going on. That's why he was leaving. I don't know if there's really any bad blood there, but I mean, he made a couple comments over the week about like a lack of fortitude among conservatives. And he'd be like, you know who I'm talking about. I'm like, well, who are you talking about, dude? Because it sounds like you might be talking about all the people at the Blaze that you might have a grudge on. I don't know. So I feel bad for him. But during the show, he actually he got some help from Jeremy of The Quartering, who is also he's a creator I would highly recommend watching. Set up this website for him, mugclubforever.com. All you do is put in your email there, and it'll sign you up. So mugclubforever.com. That's my little push for Crowder there. Because even though I don't necessarily agree with him on all the things, and sometimes I like to ideologically spar with him, or if I feel like he's making bad points or anything like that, I still think I really enjoy his content. I really enjoy all the crew members there. They put on a very good show overall, and I would hate to see him not succeed. And I very much want more Steven Crowder in my life, so mugclubforever.com. And that's apparently his way to get his nice email list ready to go, and we'll see where he goes from here. I mean, if you ask me, the dude can just set up a camera. I mean, he's got to have a decent amount of money. He talked about in his video there that he had like 300,000 subscribers that he knows of. Well, we all know how much a Mug Club membership costs. I don't know how much of that percentage he gets, but he should have a decent amount of money. I know he's got a very large crew over there, so overhead's got to be pretty high. I know the constant third chair of Dave Landau can't be cheap. He's a very funny human being. But, you know, I'm sure he's got enough liquidity, or he can get some kind of a loan to start a small, solely independent operation, and he will make all his money back within a month or two. 100%. He's got that kind of popularity and that kind of power. So yeah, just wanted to touch on that. We'll be watching as the year goes on. I have signed up to mugclubforever.com. Mugclubforever.com. I suggest you do too if you're a fan, and we will see where the man goes, and we'll be following him, and I'll probably give updates here on the show on Fridays when we're doing beer time, even though it's not Friday today. So I think with that, Mr. Joseph Garrett, thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we'll kick it for the weekend. We've got some football to watch, everybody. We've got some beers to drink, and the rest of our weekend to enjoy. So I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your weekend. I know I will. And we'll catch everybody back here, Salt the Streets YouTube, Friday, 4:30 Pacific time. All the things. Make sure to follow us right there on all the socials. Donovan is at alpaca_Donovan on Instagram. The original at Salt of the Street on Twitter. I am Big Bird Offie on both those things. We also are at Salt of the Streets on Instagram, which is actually the primary place Donovan plays around on Instagram. So definitely check all that out. saltstreets.com. Salt Streets, everywhere you go. Patreon. Go support us there so that we can make more better content. It's so much easier if we can, if we get an income from this show, we can start cutting back our hours at work and spending more time here in the studios making more and better content for you. So please support us. We love you. Have a great rest of your weekend. We will see you next Friday right here, Salt the Streets YouTube, 4:30 Pacific time.